Hello one and all, my name is Rio and welcome back to another match day preview here exclusively on my YouTube channel. So tomorrow Chester FC's first of two back-to-back journeys away on the road does take place, where we do make the venture over to Lancashire to take on Chorley away tomorrow, where we do look to secure our first away win of the new season. I am feeling much more reassured about our chances of getting a result tomorrow, given we finally got that monkey off our back last Saturday with a thrilling last gasp 3-2 win over Alfreton Town. So it was all in all crucial that we did get our first win sooner rather than later. So as a result of that, hopefully we will head into tomorrow's encounter over at Victory Park with more confidence amongst our camp, because had we not won last week, I couldn't even bear to imagine how our mood would be right now. So Victory Park is always a tough place to go to, while we will have to be all the more wary given Chorley absolutely murdered Gloucester City 9-0 at home last weekend. However, I do think, in my humble opinion, this current Chorley team is nothing too special compared to the outfit who did win promotion a few years ago out of the National League North. So all in all, I really can't wait for another away day out on the road, because even though I have been to Chorley once before, which was a goalless draw a few years ago, I really cannot wait to go again, because Chorley Chester games have always been really eventful over the years. So hopefully it will be a really enjoyable away day out, and also hopefully we can also take a strong away following. I would hope at least 400, which I do think would be really decent. So anyway, I really cannot wait now. I do have my ticket already, because rather, ridiculously, only about 3 days ago it was announced the match would be an all-ticket affair, which is an absolute joke. But anyway, I will still be going tomorrow regardless. So anyway, without further ado, my preview will be coming up right now, including all of the latest Seals stories, head-to-head record over Chorley, form guides, a key player to watch out for, plus a whole plethora more. So stay tuned. If you do enjoy it, please feel free to like, subscribe, and also comment down your thoughts on the encounter below. So without further ado, let's get into my preview right now. Enjoy. In the general consensus of things, I do believe, in my humble opinion, we do not have anything to fear about tomorrow. Therefore, I do think it is really important we do go all out for the win, because if we do manage to secure our opening away success, then we really will be well on our way to the playoff places. Meanwhile, our last match was on Saturday, where we won 3-2 at home over Alfreton Town in what was a pulsating final 20 minutes. I do think the opening half was really quiet, considering our presence near the penalty box was really limited up until we did score on the approach to half-time. 20 minutes in, Josh Clackstone was a whisker away from making it 1-0 to Alfreton Town, because his curler skimmed the top of the crossbar. Bang on to half our mark though, we did manage to capitalise on that missed opportunity for the away side, because James Hardy poked into the far corner to make it 1-0 to us. Not much action ensued after that, thus we did head into the half-time interval with our noses slightly in front. Meanwhile, I do think the second half was much more eventful, given 4 goals were scored in the final 20 minutes, as well as a red card for our very selves. Into the final 20 minutes, Danny Livesey got sent off for us, and even though I still think to this day, I do think the referee did make the correct decision, luckily for us, yesterday it did get overturned, so thankfully Danny will be in contention to play tomorrow at Chorley. With 10 minutes to go, Matt Reed struck in an unstoppable strike for Alfreton Town to make it 1-1. However, we managed to retake the lead only 1 minute later because Declan Weeks curled home an absolute corker to make it 2-1 to us. With only 2 minutes of normal time remaining, Matt Reed came back to haunt us for Alfreton Town once again to make it 2-2 because his header looped all the way in. Another twist was to follow though because Dan Cowan headed home in injury time to make it 3-2 to us, sparking absolute pandemonium, including for me because I suffered from 2 cuts on my knee, but thankfully now they are recovering quite well, so it was absolutely priceless. So in the end, an immense way to end a heart-stopping finale, but on the whole, we did deserve the 3 points over the opposition, and stay tuned for later on in my video where all 5 goals will be coming up, where I will give another summary of our Alfreton Town win, so look out for that one later on in my video today. I now have not 1, not 2, but 3 Seals stories to get through for today, which have all took place since our win over Alfreton Town a week ago. So anyway, to begin with, I have 2 similar stories which are transfer related. So anyway, to begin with, striker Zach Clarke departed Chester FC to join Clitheroe on Wednesday on a month-long loan. So Zach previously had a loan spell out at fellow pitching in Northern Premier League Division 1 West side Leek Town for a month, and will unfortunately miss his opening game for Clitheroe, having been sent off against Market Drayton Town for Leek last Monday. So I do think hopefully he will manage to still feature regularly for Clitheroe, because given how well he did perform against the likes of Elton Vale and also Macclesfield FC in pre-season, I do think he does have a lot of potential. And also Zach did manage to play a few times for Leek, so hopefully that will bode really well for him. So I would like to wish Zach all the best, and hopefully he will come back here in a month's time, banging on that first team door. Meanwhile, also on Wednesday, centre-back Harrison Burke extended his loan spell at Clitheroe from Chester FC until the end of the year on Wednesday, with a 24-hour recall clause included. So Harrison originally joined Clitheroe on a 28-day-long loan back on August the 8th, and judging by a lot of reaction by some Clitheroe supporters on social media, Harrison has been hugely impressive so far, with him bagging a goal in the Blues' 4-0 away success over at City of Liverpool on Tuesday night. Hopefully Berkey will carry on his excellent beginning at the pitching in Northern Premier League Division 1 West outfit, because it is vitally important he does continue to play regular football. So anyway, like Zach Clarke, I would like to wish Harrison all the best, and hopefully he will come back here in January time again, fighting for a senior place. my final Seals story for today is that on Monday, Chester FC were drawn away to Darlington in the Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round, with the tie taking place a week on Saturday the 18th of September at 3 o'clock. So all in all, I do think it is a dire draw for us, because it will be a long 4-hour journey all the way up to our dreaded northeast, where we have an absolutely horrendous record, and also, even though Darlington have lost every single match in our league so far, I do think they still have a decent team, and also they have been affected by COVID quite a lot, so I do think they will eventually find their rhythm. But we could have had the likes of Stonewall Delenians, Sporting Colsa, or even Runcorn Linnets, some really favourable draws, but no, we have to have Darlington away, so I do think it will be a tough draw, but hopefully we might be playing Darlow at the right time, given they are yet to pick up a single point. But anyway, I really cannot wait now. Even though I am not too happy with the draw, there is absolutely nothing we can do about it now, so we will just have to live with it and prepare for it, because it is now only a week away. So anyway, I will be going like usual, so I really cannot wait now, even though I have been to Darlington before, and even though Blackwell Meadows is an awful ground, I really cannot wait now. So we do need to take a big following up there, and hopefully we can actually go on a decent FA Cup run, which would be quite something. So anyway, just for confirmation, Chester FC will play Darlington away at 3 o'clock in the Emirates FA Cup second qualifying round on Saturday the 18th of September. So see you all there, and hopefully our FA Cup fortunes will change for the better.
It doesn't have to be this way.
It will take about an hour and a half to get to Chorley from here, so it will be one of our more shorter away journeys this campaign. So I really cannot wait now, because once again I will be off on the coach on the Hipkiss Express, which does leave about 11:30, so it should be a relatively short journey. And also, I have been to Chorley once before, so I do know what to expect there, with my only visit so far being a 0-0 draw back on September the 30th, 2018. So hopefully tomorrow will be much more eventful, because I do remember we did throw absolutely everything at Chorley in that game, and I do particularly remember Dean Smalley was so close to getting a late winner for us, but at that time we did have to settle for a draw. But hopefully we can go one better tomorrow and get a win. So anyway, I really cannot wait now. So anyway, Chorley do play at Victory Park, which holds 4,300. So even though Chorley and also Chester aren't the greatest of friends, because due to a lot of trouble about 11 years ago, we don't really get on now too much, I do have to say I am a fan of Victory Park, because it is one of a dying breed of stadiums, because you do have to admire and also respect it, given it has a lot of character, it is really old-fashioned, and also I do admire how old school it is too. So to be fair to Chorley, even though half of the ground, such as the away end and also the stand to the right of it, isn't really too good, I do think the main stand and also the home end is really good. So fair play to Victory Park. I do think it is one of the better grounds in our league, and to be fair, I do quite like it. So anyway, on one side you do have the main stand, which is a covered all-seater stand going for about 2/3 of the pitch, and also the actual seated area is all raised above pitch level, where all of the seats are really old. It does contain a range of colours, such as I think there are some black, white, brown, or even some blue seats for some reason, and also there are numerous supporting pillars which will invade your view. Meanwhile, to make up the remaining third of the pitch towards the Duke Street terrace, there is an uncovered terrace, while right at the front of the stand, going for the entire length of the pitch, you do have another uncovered terrace, which is, I think in my opinion, it is in fact really similar to the grandstand at King's Lynn Town, because at the Walks, home of King's Lynn, you do have a really large seated stand which is again raised above pitch level. However, at the front, underneath it, you do have some uncovered viewing areas which are open to supporters. So I do think, to be fair, I do quite like the main stand. Meanwhile, opposite to that, you do have the Ronnie Pilkington stand, which is a relatively new affair, because I do recall back in 2018, I do think it was actually opened when we played Chorley away, or if not really close to that time. So it is a covered all-seated stand going for about 1/9 of the pitch. It is a tiny stand. I reckon it holds about 30 seats, so I think it's really pointless, but I think maybe Chorley needed it to meet certain ground requirements or something. And also, like the main stand, even though it is minuscule, it is also raised above pitch level, where you do have to climb a large staircase to either side to access it. Meanwhile, to make up 4/9 of the pitch towards the Duke Street terrace, you do have an uncovered flat standing area, and also to make up the remaining 4/9 of the pitch to the left of the seated area, you do have another uncovered open flat standing area which is situated towards the Frank Powell stand. Behind one goal, you do have the Duke Street terrace, which is a covered terrace. However, it does contain several supporting pillars which will impede your view. However, I do think in general it is a lovely home end, because it is set really far back, so you can make a really good atmosphere. And lastly, to conclude, behind the other goal, you do have the Frank Powell stand, which is another covered terrace. However, it is situated directly behind the goal, with some supporting pillars which will affect your view. And also, it only goes for about 1/3 of the pitch. Meanwhile, to the left of it, you do have an uncovered terrace, which did have a large grass bank behind it. However, Chorley have fenced it off, I think, to prevent crowd trouble maybe, or something similar. And also to the right of the covered terrace, to make up the remaining third of the pitch, you do have another uncovered flat standing area. So anyway, due to the crowd trouble in recent years, tomorrow's game will definitely contain segregation. Therefore, we will be allocated the entirety of the Frank Powell stand, and also we will be allocated only 80 seats in the main stand. So like I say, with it being all ticket, with us being all in one area due to segregation, hopefully we can take a bumper following, and also hopefully we can make an atmosphere to remember to roar our boys onto a valuable win.
Count the hours.
Chorley have made an inconsistent beginning to the new campaign, because the Lancashire side currently find themselves sat outside the playoff places with 2 wins and also 2 defeats thus far. Even though last campaign was halted really early on due to COVID-19, the Magpies did occupy the final playoff place in their attempt to launch an immediate return back to the Vanarama National League. Our opponents were also one of only 2 teams to beat us at the Diva, with Gateshead being the other side, so they will certainly be no pushovers this season. We will also be up against one former seal over at Victory Park later on tomorrow afternoon, who is Andy Hulls. Left back Andy joined us from the now deceased Macclesfield Town back in May 2017, where after a really poor start, I did think he did go on to be one of our better performers in the second half of that torrid relegation season. Andy, however, was released from us in June 2018, while in June of last year he did sign for Chorley from Curzon Ashton, which is where he has been at ever since. Although Hulls did deserve a lot of praise for agreeing to waive his contract for us, I however have not got any time for him now, given he was mocking us a few weeks ago when we got beat by Curzon Ashton by mocking our boost to budget heroics, and he has also said some unsavoury things about us in the past. So even though I did get on quite well with Andy, because I did speak to him a few times and he did seem really nice, however, I do think since some of his comments about us are not on at all, so therefore I really do hope he is on the losing team come 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Your bed is made, then baby it's too late.
Here is our head-to-head record against Chorley, which is really tight, given we have played 7, we have won 3, drew 2 and also lost 2, so only just by the skin of our teeth do we have our noses in front, because we have won one more match than Chorley. However, even if we draw or if we do get beat somehow tomorrow, then unfortunately our record will not be as good. However, if we do get our 4th win out of 8, which would be the equivalent to us winning 50% of our meetings, I would be over the moon come 5 o'clock tomorrow. So even though we do have the upper hand over Chorley, unfortunately the Magpies did win our most recent clash, which was a 2-1 home defeat in the Vanarama National League North back on Saturday the 28th of December 2020, so only a year ago, and I do think that afternoon we were nowhere near good enough. We were just not at the races at all, and I'm not one for excuses, but in a rather tongue-in-cheek one, maybe we were still getting over, maybe we were a bit hungover from our 3-1 away win over AFC Telford United on Boxing Day. However, we did eventually make up for our Chorley defeat by hammering Telford at home 3-0 on New Year's Day. However, what is most significant about tomorrow is, unfortunately, we did lose our most recent meeting with the Magpies. However, that is in the past now. It is only the future which we do have control of, so hopefully we can get revenge for that one by getting a sweet win over at Victory Park tomorrow, which would be absolutely superb. So anyway, here are all 3 goals of the game, which will be coming up right now, but like I say, hopefully our result over Chorley tomorrow will be a hell of a lot more better.
Throw into the Chester penalty area it goes, it's towards the near post, it's bouncing round and the shot comes in, and the number 13 Ollie Shenton has fired it into the back of the net. Well, it's unlucky 13 for Chester, not for Chorley. They have the opening goal of the game, and it's Ollie Shenton, the former Wrexham midfielder, fires it in to the back of the net. It's an emphatic finish from him, and they have the lead. When you get upset, you get instances like that.
Yeah, you can see it happening, you know what I mean, when you're watching. You know what's going to happen next.
Here's Danny Elliott, and he's put a lovely ball in behind for Anthony Dudley. Big chance for Dudley. Dudley equalises for Chester. On his 100th appearance, Anthony Dudley scores yet again. And it's all level at the Diva Stadium. It's Chester 1, Chorley 1. For them to save another one here as the referee just gives his instructions to the Chorley and Chester players to stay where they are. Connor Hall from 12 yards, he fires it down the middle. Emphatic finish from the 22-year-old, and it's Chorley who lead by 2-1 right on the stroke of.
There's no hope.
Our last match was on Saturday, where we won 3-2 at home against Alfreton Town in what was an absolutely extraordinary final 20 minutes, which not only contained 4 goals, but it also contained a sending off, which is now not a sending off. So in my opinion, even though I do think up until the final 10 or 20 minutes or so, even though I do think up until that point we did perform relatively average, I do think we were much better than Alfreton. Therefore, I do think we did deserve to win over them. So anyway, I was so relieved we did finally manage to record our first win of the new season. So hopefully it will be a major building block, and hopefully we can maintain it from tomorrow. So anyway, to begin with, I do think the opening half was a relatively poor watch from both points of views, because we barely had any chances at all, and I do think the general style of play on offer was really average, given Alfreton just kept on hoofing the ball up in the air. And even though we did attempt in some periods to play the ball on the floor, it didn't really work to great effect. However, to begin with, it was in fact Alfreton Town who went really close to breaking the deadlock, courtesy of Josh Clackstone, where a curling cross-come shot clipped the top of the crossbar. However, we managed to make up for that on the half-hour mark, bang on the half-hour mark, to make it 1-0, courtesy of James Hardy, who managed to find the far corner to make it 1-0 to us, thus finishing off a lovely move. We eventually headed into the half-time interval with our noses slightly in front, but even though I do not really think we deserved to be in front, I do think we need every single bit of luck to get us back up the table to where we do belong in the playoff places. However, even though I do think the first half was mostly a bore fest, the second period was a hell of a lot better, because it somehow burst into life with lots of goals, plenty of chances, while I do think performance-wise we were much more better. To begin with, however, we were dealt with a major setback, because on the 72nd minute mark, Danny Livesey was sent off for us, and I do think it was the correct decision by the referee, because I do think it was a little bit ill-timed, a little bit reckless by Danny. However, only one day ago, somehow the FA overturned our appeals, so Danny's red card is now invalid. Therefore, he is now available to play for tomorrow at Chorley and beyond. So I was absolutely really perplexed. I was really surprised when I found out. However, I will take that any day of the week, so hopefully he will be back in our starting 11 tomorrow, because I do think we do need him over Simon Grant, who has had a poor beginning to our campaign. Meanwhile, things got from bad to worse from us at the time, of course, because eventually Alfreton Town made their numerical advantage count, courtesy of Matt Reed, who made it 1-1 with an absolutely superb goal. To be fair, I do know he was a wind-up merchant on today, but you do have to take your hats off to him. I do think it was an absolutely unbelievable goal, because Louis Gray did quite well to save the initial shot, but he somehow managed to absolutely smash home the rebound first time into the bottom corner to give Louis Gray no chance to make it 1-0, so fair play to him. However, only seconds later we darted up the other end of the pitch to make it 2-1, with Declan Weeks also scoring a really good goal, because he did really well to cut inside to smash home into the bottom corner to give Tom Donaghy no chance. Although to be fair, I do think Alfreton's goalie should have done a lot more better, because as much as it was a really good goal by Deck, I do think it was a really savable shot. However, again, I took that any day of the week. We were pegged back once again though with only 2 minutes of normal time remaining because that man again, Matt Reed, scored for Alfreton Town to make it 2-2. A bit of a more, simpler goal this time because he scored a header into the back of the net which looped over not only Louis Gray but also numerous defenders too. However, that was not the end because deep into injury time we managed to find a winner to make it 3-2 with Dan Cowan getting on the end of a lovely corner to make it 3-2. He looped all the way into the far corner of the net to spark absolute carnage amongst our ground. So what a way to mark our first win of the new season. So all of the goals will be coming up right now. Sit back and enjoy, and hopefully we will get another win tomorrow. However, hopefully we can do it the easier way because my heart was, going up and down, my heart rate last week because one moment we were winning, another moment we were drawing, another moment we had the players sent off. However, in the end it was a really, really happy ending because we did win, but hopefully we will make it a little bit more simpler tomorrow. But anyway, here are all 5 goals. Enjoy! Here is Chorley's recent form, which is rather hit and miss, because even though they have played 5, they have in fact only fulfilled 4 games, which I will talk about really shortly. So anyway, they have only won 2, drew 0 and lost 2. So anyway, to begin with, back on Saturday the 14th of August, on the opening day of the Vanarama National League North season, Chorley got off to a bad start given they got beat 1-0 at home against Brackley Town. Things got from bad to worse the following Saturday in the Magpies' opening away match, where they got hammered 3-0 away at AFC Telford United. Meanwhile, the following Saturday, Chorley were back at home, where they were hoping to get their first points on the board. However, their home match against Bradford Park Avenue AFC was, in fact, abandoned due to a player picking up a serious injury. So my thoughts do go out to that player, and I really do hope they are now making a speedy recovery. It was in fact so serious that the game was only abandoned after just 12 minutes, so it was scoreless at the time, although I do think it will be replayed really shortly. But like I say, my thoughts do go out to Bradford Park Avenue AFC's player Jake Hibbs, who did pick up a serious injury. However, Chorley have since managed to make up for it, and also to make up for their poor start, because they do go into tomorrow's game having won their previous 2 games. So, to begin with, Chorley did get a 1-0 away win over Alfreton Town away 2 days later on the August Bank Holiday Monday, while last Saturday Chorley absolutely annihilated Gloucester City 9-0, yes, 9-0 at home to record their record win. So yeah, we are going into tomorrow's game maybe not at the best of times, given we are playing a Chorley team fresh on the back of a 9-0 demolition of Gloucester. However, I don't really think they will do that to us. So even though Chorley did batter Gloucester, as I do think it will be a tough game, don't get me wrong. However, I do think, given our squad is now virtually fully fit again, I do think our squad is good enough to go to Chorley and get a win. However, Chorley are coming into tomorrow's game on the back of 2 consecutive wins, so it will be a tough match. However, hopefully we can burst their bubble.
They take all hope away.
Meanwhile, here is our form guide, which, even though we did get a much needed win last weekend, in my opinion is still nowhere near good enough. However, hopefully we have turned a corner, and also hopefully it will be onwards and also upwards from now on. So anyway, our form is, we have played 5, unlike Chorley, who have only technically played 4. We have only won 1, we have drew 2, while we have also lost 2. But hopefully, like I say, we are now improving. So to begin with, on the opening day of the Vanarama National League North campaign, back on Saturday the 21st of August, we got a decent 2-all away draw at Farsley Celtic. Unfortunately, we were unable to convert that into a win in our opening home match, because a few days later, on the following Tuesday night, we got absolutely hammered 3-0 at home against Curzon Ashton. Things did improve slightly the following Saturday, because we did come from a goal down to score in the 97th minute to snatch a really late 1-all home draw against Gateshead. But again, it was another case of 1 step forwards and 2 steps back, because we were unable to follow it up, because only 2 days later, on the following Bank Holiday Monday, we got beat 3-1 away at Kidderminster Harriers. Thankfully though, we were able to finally record our opening victory of the new season last Saturday, where we did beat Alfreton Town 3-2 at home. But hopefully we can be able to make it back to back wins tomorrow now, because we do need to get a rhythm going. We do need to get some form of consistency going. So hopefully we can make it 2 wins in a row, which will, in my opinion, set out a real statement of intent. My key Chorley player to watch out for tomorrow is a familiar name and also a familiar face to us fellow Seals, who is left back Andy Hulls. So back in 2009, Andy began his career at Stockport County, where he joined Macclesfield Town 4 years later, where he was a regular fixture for the now deceased Silkmen, where he did make, to his credit, over 150 appearances, which also included an FA Trophy success at Wembley in his final ever appearance for Mac. In 2017, Andy did depart Mac to join the mighty Chester FC, so he did move from East Cheshire over to West Cheshire, where he was only here for a season. And even though I don't really like him too much now, because of some comments he has made about us recently, I do think, to be fair to him, after a really abysmal start, I do think in the second half of our turgid relegation campaign, I do think he was one of our most improved players. Only a year later, like I say, in 2018, Andy moved to join fellow National League North side Guiseley, where a year later again he moved back over to the Northwest to join Curzon Ashton, and finally only a year ago in June of last year, so in 2020, Andy moved north into Lancashire to join Chorley from Curzon Ashton, which is where he has been at ever since. And also, apart from his club career, Andy did make a handful of appearances for England C from 2014 to 2016. So anyway, I do think he will be a key player to watch out for tomorrow, because I do think a few of our players will know how he does play. So I do think, given Andy is a regular player for Chorley, and I also do believe he is also their captain too, so he is certainly one of their most important players. So like I say, even though Andy was here for a year, hopefully he will still be on the losing team come 5 PM tomorrow.
What did I hear you say?
My score prediction for tomorrow's encounter is Chorley 0, Chester FC 1. So I do think our only scorer, and also coincidentally the only scorer of the entire game, will be George Glendon. So it isn't really often where I do predict 1-0 wins. However, I do have a feeling tomorrow will be quite a tight, scrappy affair, because even though we did get beat 2-1 in our most recent encounter with the Magpies, you only have to look back at the 2018 to 2019 campaign, which was rather ironically our last full season, where both meetings with Chorley were 0-0 goalless draws. So although I do not think it will be a goalless draw tomorrow, I do think it will be a cagey, scrappy affair. But I do think we will have enough to nick it, because, in my opinion, even though Chorley did absolutely slaughter Gloucester City 9-0 a week ago, I still do think we have nothing to be scared of, because, like I alluded to in my previous part of my preview for today, I do think, in my opinion, Chorley's squad right now is nothing compared to their team, which did get promoted a few years ago out of this league. So I do think we do have nothing to be scared of, and I do also think we should be going all out for the win, because I know it's only my opinion. However, if we do want to get promoted out of this league, I do think we do have to get rid of this mentality where we are just happy to go to places to just get a point. I can understand, at places like AFC Fylde, Boston United, and also York City, where, yes, you would be happy with a draw. However, we're playing Chorley tomorrow, not Millwall, so I do think we should be going all out for the win. And if we do win, hopefully we will get a win, then I do think it will put out a real benchmark and also a real statement of intent for the rest of our league to really look at ourselves and take notice. So I do think we do have to go all out for the win. Perhaps a draw may not be the end of the world, but I do think as our season does go on, I do think we do have to win more matches, otherwise it could prove to bite us in the backside. But anyway, I will stand by my 1-0 win, and hopefully come 5 o'clock tomorrow I will be correct.
You know it doesn't have to be that way.
I was hoping for an away following of 400 plus tomorrow. However, due to the ridiculous all-ticket arrangements, which were only decided only a few days before the encounter, I will be surprised if we do surpass that figure. Hopefully though, we can still take a decentish away following, as our lads do deserve our full support throughout the whole game, particularly given we won our last game, and also because if we do manage to win again tomorrow, then that will put out a real statement to the rest of our league. So I did purchase my ticket earlier on today, so I cannot wait to travel up to Chorley now, because it should be a really good away day out. So anyway, of course, I will be off tomorrow, so look out for a match day vlog which will be out after the game. So I am really excited now. Should be a really good away day out on the beers. I also cannot wait to go to Chorley again for my second journey, so hopefully be a really good away day out, and also, like I say, hopefully we will also take a good away following. So anyway, of course, I do hope you all enjoyed my match day preview for tomorrow. If you did, like always, please like, subscribe, and also comment down your score predictions below. So here is to an away day out to remember. Come on, you Seals, you can do this. We are all right behind you. Come on, Blue Boys.
When you walk out the door, you're gonna ask for more. You're gonna ask for more. It doesn't have to hurt that way.